Hi, everybody. We're here. We're just getting set up.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
We're doing stuff. We're busy.
Lunch buds. Heck yeah. Very easy
That's a
to
good
do.
idea. Yeah. Just scrolling. Oh, that's what you need. One with like a, you know what I mean? Like just a clip. Clip it right on there.
Lunch buds.
Right, might as
Hi,
well.
everybody.
Just clip it right to yourself. Because it's funny how
We're on.
acceptable it is now for blazing. Like I lit up a joint on the walk over, and I was like, oh yeah, you can just do this now.
Yeah. We have new mic stands.
Hello?
So we are talking very closely to them as people get in here.
Is this too close?
E-Man, slide all over. Say hi to the people. Because Nick is our guest today on Lunch Buds.
What
from
up,
Naturae. And I have a lot of questions for Nick. So we're going to get real nerdy. And if you're into like the nerdy part of cannabis, we're going to get into it.
We're gonna get nerdy today.
Because I was on his website last night, and they've got so many products that all have different words, and I don't know what all the words. I know that sounds like.
So
Yeah.
many words.
But I was telling him before the show, there's like, I don't know what
Solventless.
solventless. Like, can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit before Nick gets on? You're down there
It's
pushing.
I don't know that.
It's
Yeah.
without using solvents. So solvents like CO2 and butane and stuff like that. So I think it's like water or whatever, ice or something like that. And so it's just people come in like, what is solventless? It's like, yo, it's full spectrum. It's fucking awesome. Just eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
works.
what.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I
I like
gotta
that. I like
understand.
that definition.
That's what I gotta understand. But first, before we get into all of these, delivery. Let's talk delivery.
Yeah.
We announced it last week. Launched Monday.
Yep.
People can get these products available at Flynnstoned delivered to most towns. Like we said last week, if it's not a town that'll work for you, you'll be told at the end.
Yeah.
But people have been asking, I go to the website, where does it say delivery? Delivery happens at checkout. So you fill your cart.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, so I know people are like, well, I go to the website, and where do I click for delivery? It's at the end. So when you buy your products,
I like that.
it'll say pick
Yeah.
up or delivery.
Yep.
When you put in delivery, most of the time it'll accept it. If it's a town that's a little uptight about this, it'll unfortunately tell you got to only pick up.
Your town sucks.
no.
It just flashes over and over and
but,
over and over.
That's how delivery works. So if you're confused by it, just fill up a cart, get yourself some treats,
Yeah.
and
Like
get it sent to your
this.
house.
This
Get
is
some
delicious.
resonators, bro. Get those sour
Do they
apple
have these down
resonators.
there right now, the resonators?
Yeah, they got the resonators. They got some new flavors, fruit punch. They got the blue raspberry. Dude, my first experience with the resonators.
What?
Damn, bro.
Listen to me.
This giant ass rip.
I hate the fact that was a lot of smoke. That's too. I hate the fact that I know it's cannabis,
Right.
but I always focus on the food words that you're saying, like straw. I'm like, ooh, strawberries are good.
This tastes like strawberry.
I can smell that. Yeah,
Yeah.
blueberries are good. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
man.
but
Finish your
first experience with resonators, I went to my first Fish concert.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, yo, like I don't have any weed with me. I'm just gonna. And my wife was with me, so I was like, I'm not gonna smoke. I'm eating some fucking resonators.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got in line, popped 4,
Yep.
just for the party, cause I got a high tolerance, so I
Yeah,
don't
sure,
invite
sure,
anybody
sure.
to pop 4.
I hear you.
For me, I popped 4 of them joints.
Gotcha.
Sitting in line, starting feeling my legs. Okay, got into the concert. Full hit, right? I look over to the crowd. It's like thousands of people just enjoying stuff, dude. I started crying. I lose my shit, bro. So yeah, resonators.
Does your
man.
wife look at you
That's
and like ask
awesome.
what's wrong?
I look over her. She's crying too. Like, what the hell's going on?
These are real good. No, because these are the
No,
things.
good
that-
These I've done. I'm going to talk to Nick about these.
Yeah.
I've done all of the resonators
These are
edibles.
good.
I've tried all of the jaunty edibles except the sleep ones because I sleep great without that stuff. But
Yep.
we'll talk about that.
These were my lights up in the dome things. That's what
yeah.
was season tickets up at Syracuse, and it was either 2 or 3, and I realized I was high because I wasn't watching the game. I was back in my seat doing this, looking at the lights.
Looking at the lights.
I was like, damn, this is a lot
Just
of
looking
It's
it
the
up.
best.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they-
Sour apple resonators,
Yeah.
bro. Gotta go with it.
Yeah, right
Good
on.
experience with fish. Hell yeah. Those joints right there, 10
Yeah.
milligrams. a full spectrum hash. You know, hash hits different. That's their logo. They definitely hit different.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
They hit nice too.
Oh yeah.
Not to get you guys too excited, but we are gonna end today's show with a dab. The first ever dab done here.
Let's go. I'm excited about that. We got some critical in the house.
So all
Ooh, it's a
right,
sativa.
switch with Nick. So we're gonna talk to Nick, and then I'll bring
Peace out,
E-Man
people.
back on if he wants to try this dab rig at the end.
Oh, I think he does.
I think for science.
I'm
yeah.
very sure. Yeah, for science, E-Man should probably try the dab with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an educational thing we're doing with the
Yep.
dabs. For
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So pull that nice and close to you, Nick. Hi, Nick.
Sure. Yeah. Hey.
Nick is
How's it
here,
going?
CEO, founder, president,
All the titles.
all of the titles to
Father of-
Naturae, and father of some of these beautiful, amazing products. You're out of the Albany area, you said?
Yeah. We're I'm in Albany, and our manufacturing plant and where we've been for the past like 7 years is like 40 minutes northeast of Albany in Hoosick
Okay.
Falls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the impetus of you wanting to launch kind of a cannabis brand? Oh, first, I skipped over our first segment. We do an icebreaker question.
What is
so,
it? Oh yeah.
Well, I'm already getting into the topics, and we haven't done the icebreaker yet. The icebreaker is a
so
chance
interesting.
for you to meet us and for us to meet you, because we're new to each other.
Yeah.
So today's icebreaker question is, what was your first car and what happened to it?
Oh, that's a great
Oh,
question,
okay.
actually. My first car was a Jeep Commander. I don't know, like 2011 or 12.
like
It was
that.
my mom's car, and she paid it off and gave it to me. And within like 8 months, I was actually driving from. I had moved to New York. That was in Florida that she gave it to me. I moved to New York, and I was driving from like Chatham to Hoosick. We had a hemp farm back then over there, and I flipped off the road.
Oh, man.
I for years told myself and others that it was the conditions, the tire, this, that. But ultimately, I looked down at my phone. That's really what happened. Now I admit it because I don't check my phone when I'm driving. I try not to drive, honestly, if I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, flipped it over like 5 times. I was intact, and I was by myself in the car, thankfully, and I flipped like into a golf course actually.
Damn.
So yeah.
I was gonna ask, did you live?
Yeah.
Did
it
he
was
live,
fine.
Cody?
I walked right out
I
of the
wonder
thing.
if he lived. Are you a
Hold
ghost,
on,
Nick?
spoiler alert. We're getting to it.
Oh, yeah. Don't ruin the story, man. All right, just so
But
you
yeah,
know
that was wild.
about
That's
us, mine was a
crazy.
1990 Chevy
Yeah.
Celebrity station wagon. Drove it to about 230,000 miles and then sold it for $200.
Wow, that's
wow, you
super
went-
responsible.
You sold it?
That's-
Wow.
Yeah, I sold it to my buddy Jason for $200, and then
I knew that. I knew
he
that.
wrecked it. He wrapped it around a tree.
Yep. No,
I would still drive that car to this day if I could. It was my favorite car I've ever owned.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
mine was
that
a
first love.
90 or 91 Geo Prism. Yeah.
If you flipped that, you'd be so dead.
Right.
There's not an ounce of protection in a Geo Prism.
No.
dude.
I don't think I know that car. That
I don't
sounds
even
like
know how to
from a movie.
describe it. Yeah, it was. I just drove it into the ground.
Okay.
Just drove it right into the ground. I think the
No
day
oil
that,
changes ever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the day that I was driving and everything shut off in it and the steering wheel locked and I just was like, all right, well, let's see where I'm driving, and I drove into like a little ravine.
Just
and
got
then
out of it and
everything's-
left.
Everything started back up.
Oh, okay.
I drove out of the little. It was like just a little small ditch, and was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get rid of this car. I don't think I
Yeah,
can.
okay.
I don't think I feel safe driving a car that shuts off.
And those Geos were not great in the winter.
No,
They-
it was.
they
It was
They had no
fast,
weight to them,
but-
so they weren't really
yeah.
Yeah.
doing anything.
Just sliding around.
All right, Nick, let's get into business, all right?
Yeah.
Shall we? We're announcing kind of a new product today, right? With the Jaunty disposables?
Infusions. Yeah. We've got finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with Jaunty, that's kind of our leading brand. It's our distillate brand. We've been super focused with the portfolio. We only have 10 SKUs in our cartridges versus a lot of brands having 50, 60 SKUs, and we've done really well with it. Like
Okay.
right now, Jaunty is leading in New York. And these disposables are something we've worked on for like a year and had massive internal arguments about how they should be marketed, what they should be. This is probably in our whole portfolio like the most selfish product that we release.
Okay.
This is basically made for me. Like
Okay.
this is something that I liked, and I was
Yeah.
like, let's just see how the market reacts to it. But I've smoked, the whole tagline is like, cannabis with flavor is better, and there's an audience for that. And there's
dude.
also an audience for our live rosin stuff, but I'm super excited about it just because of a few other features, right? So, of course, the taste is going to be delicious. It's CO2 distillate. Everything that we put out with Jaunty and the hardware is great. But it's also like biodegradable hemp plastic.
Oh.
So you can consume it and like throw it out and not feel as bad as you do with most other disposables.
Oh, that's wicked cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a real neat little
So you say
feature.
that there was some arguments. What were some things that you were dead set had to have in this product since you were making it for yourself?
Well, no, I would say the main debate was really, should we continue with the Jaunty classics that we have under cartridges? Should we continue with that line and just translate it over into disposables? And my argument and my hypothesis is that they're just different products. And a lot of consumers that have their own battery like strain-specific cannabis-specific stuff. And disposables are like something you might take out like with your on Friday night or whatever, or for whatever different reasons you use it. So that's why I'm super excited to try it out. And we also, as with all our Jaunty products, put it out at like the most accessible price point that we can. So yeah, I'm gonna open this one up.
Yeah, go
as
ahead.
well so I can
And with the
try it.
disposables,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
feel
so
so
good.
bad if like you misplace a battery and a whole cart that costs you a bunch of money and
Yeah.
you lose it.
Yeah,
If
for
you lose
sure.
this, it's a little less money gone.
Yeah.
And they're very compact. Are they rechargeable?
Yeah, they are rechargeable. Yeah. And that's the other point that I guess was we tried so much different hardware to try to really get it to rip, and I was enjoying that so much just earlier because you ripped it in the cloud.
Yeah, that was a
like,
good one.
everywhere. We really with the voltage and with the internal components, we made sure that this was gonna hit really hard because that's the idea. It's supposed to just
does.
hit your face
Yeah.
with the flavor. You know.
And it tastes really good too. I'm a
Great.
fan.
I'm glad to hear it.
What are the
You gotta
flavors
try-
that we're gonna
You
have?
gotta try a different flavor to see if it tastes like it.
We're gonna have melon, strawberry, green apple, and banana.
Awesome.
And yeah, and we'll see. From there forward, we're likely going to add like a seasonal flavor, and then an exploratory flavor that'll change like every few months. That we'll just be trying out.
That's cool.
Crazy new stuff. I mean, the natural terps and the terp world in general has advanced so much in the past like 5 or 6 years. So some of these leading terpene companies like Abstracts, Ebna. You go and talk to their scientists, and like the complexity that they put into some of these terps that they're putting together. You know, back in the day, it used to be like, and I'll get into this in a second too. But back in the day, it used to be like 5 to 10 terpenes that you were able to sort of get in a blend through steam distillation or whatever. You'd put it in a cart, and everybody would taste it, and it tasted like hemp, you know, like it tasted like hay.
Yeah.
And over time, they've gotten more and more sophisticated. So now when you're working with abstracts and you're making a formulation with them, you're working with like 50, 60, in some cases even 80 different compounds, terpene compounds,
Oh, wow.
to create a super robust formulation.
That's something I'm trying to understand is terpenes, because I hear it thrown around a lot and how it works. And I went and found like a terpene wheel on the internet that kind of explains it.
I've seen.
And
I've
it's
seen
like-
that. It helps. Yeah.
Kind of explain better than I'm about to, but it seems like if I want something to find terpenes that combine and make these flavors, but what is a terpene? Where do they come from? What are they?
A terpene is, and this is probably the subject that I'm least
Sure,
knowledgeable
okay.
on, so
Yeah.
I won't go too deep. But it's an essential oil compound that's in the flower as well,
Yeah,
with all the cannabinoid oil.
Yeah.
And it affects the way that the cannabinoid interacts with your endocannabinoid system,
okay,
essentially.
okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I need to study the terpene wheel a little
Yeah,
bit
I'm
more
so
because I don't know,
fascinated
like,
by it.
you know, if we're talking about limonene, sure, that's a citrusy thing, but then there's effects associated with it too. And people that are smart with terpenes are like at the cutting edge of that research, and they really know their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is Nick, everybody. If you're just tuning in, Nick from Jaunty. Nick from Naturae. Their leading kind of, brand is Jaunty, but they've got resonators. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the concentrates and stuff. But sticking with
Yeah.
Jaunty,
Yeah.
some of the first edibles I ever did were Jaunty edibles.
Awesome.
How are they made? Are they small batch? Is it like a 1-to-1? Like, I know they're all different, because I know
Yeah.
that your Dreamberry, formerly another name, is primarily for sleep. So how do we break these down into different kind of formulations?
Yeah, so the easiest way to think about it is just like the input oils that we're using for them. So Jaunty is all using distillate oil. And so it's not versus like a resonators that uses solventless hash. It's really pure distillate.
Okay.
Mixed in with gummy ingredients.
Okay.
And Jaunty wouldn't be small batch versus Resonators is small batch, right?
Okay.
Let's say, but the formulations are all pectin based. They're vegan. I suppose it's hard when we're saying small batch. It depends what scale you're talking about.
Right.
Like our formulation is small batch enough that it's not like Haribo would be able to go out there and replicate it.
Okay.
Like you do need to do some stuff by hand.
Yeah.
Pectin is more difficult to deal with than gelatin to make the texture that we're looking for
Mm-hmm.
in those. They're definitely specialty gummies,
Okay.
let's say. But what separates them the most is the oil that goes in. So distillate is going to give you, depending on the user, obviously, but most often just pure distillate, which we don't have here right now, actually, but that would be like our sour watermelon and sweet peach. It's going to be a bit more of a euphoric effect, and some people sometimes associate distillate, to talk about pros and cons, sometimes associate it with, oh, that's the gummy that gives me a bit of paranoia, because it's really like pure THC going into your system, right?
Okay.
See?
Then Jaunty Dreamberry has CBN infused to it, which is the sedative cannabinoid. So it's gonna make you super sleepy when combined with THC.
Okay.
You're gonna get a body high. You're gonna feel like going to sleep basically, which is the goal there. And then so that's all distillate based stuff. That's Jaunty, right?
Yeah.
Resonators is all fresh frozen live hash based.
Yeah, so
right?
take me
it's-
there.
okay.
I've seen how
Yeah.
distillate's been made. We went and toured a facility a couple times. We've gone to tours that have shown
Yeah.
us how the distillate is made, either
Yeah.
using ethanol or like you said, CO2. Right?
Yeah,
You make the
right.
distillate. It's that jar of the oil looking stuff, and you use it.
You
for the
refine
gummies.
it, and
right? You
et cetera.
refine it.
Yeah.
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 What is
What's the
solventless
difference?
hash?
Yeah.
What makes Resonators a different product than a Jaunty product?
Yeah. So the easiest way to explain it, like starting with the inputs, the inputs that go in for distillate or fresh frozen are very different. So let's
Okay.
just start to define like with the anything that's rosin or fresh frozen, the quality of the inputs that's going in, the weed that's going in for extraction needs to be basically as good as it would be if you're gonna just smoke it, right?
Okay.
It needs to be a super high quality
Whereas
weed.
distillate can be like the
It
not
can
so
be
pretty
be
stuff.
trim basically.
Yeah, it can be trim.
Yeah, it can be
Okay.
trim. This needs to be super high quality on the input side, and then in terms of the extraction, the easy way to understand it is with solvent, just in the same way that like with acetone, if you're removing paint from something or you're removing paint from your nails. Not that I'm removing paint from my nails.
Hey,
often.
we don't judge. You do you, man.
Once in
You
a while.
do you, bro.
Sometimes you look
But
pretty.
as an easy way to explain it, CO2 in our case, the cleanest solvent, but like, ethanol as well, any solvents, butane, they go through the plant matter and they dissolve the oil off. And then you get a solution of the solvent plus the oil. And then you go into post-processing and you separate those things and you get your distillate.
Okay.
Right? So hash is entirely different. Hash is actually a mechanical separation.
Okay.
It's not a chemical solvent removal.
Sure.
It's you're physically removing the trichomes from the bud.
Wow.
So you need to harvest it very carefully. It can't be compacted so you don't smash the trichomes. It gets stored in these wax boxes within 15 minutes of harvest in a freezer,
Oh, shit.
so that it doesn't get compressed. And then from there you take that into a cold water bath. The extraction is actually very simple. It's a cold water bath with ice. You put the material in there, and it makes all the trichomes brittle because it's cold. So when it gets brittle, it gets shuffled around, it gets passed through filters, and those trichomes that you're collecting are hash. And they're hash that have all of the
That's
terpenes
cool.
inside of them. They're hash
Gotcha.
that has full spectrum everything that's in the plant because
Right.
you froze it immediately from harvest, right?
So essentially,
So-
like the trichomes, that white thing you see when you kind of
Yeah,
zoom
all
in on
those
it?
little, when you zoom in and you're trying to, it's
Yeah.
like it's really, if you really zoom in with a microscope, it's like a little water balloon.
Okay.
Essentially.
And those
so
get
you
stuck
need-
in whatever filter you have, and then
Yeah, exactly. The water balloons all get caught up.
you
Exactly.
can kind of scrape them off. Well, I'm getting obviously low brow here. I don't know how it
No,
works.
but that's it. You,
No,
you
that's
scrape
it.
them
Yeah,
off, you
yeah.
put them into a freeze dryer to remove all the water. And then you take that full spectrum plant material, melt it down, and put it into a gummy.
Okay.
And that's hash gummies, right? A further step from there would be that you take that hash material and you press it with a press, with a rosin press.
Okay.
And that's how we make our critical concentrates. So depending on the grade of the hash that we're pulling out, like our highest grade, like creme de la creme stuff, is going into our critical concentrates and our resonators like live rosin
Right,
vapes.
right.
And then our food grade, still super high quality hash, but maybe like with a slightly darker color, so we don't want to put it out as dabbable,
Yeah.
is going to go into the gummies.
So, like, I guess an apples to apples comparison would be like the liquor industry, where you're like, here's your bottom shelf. It's still booze. It's great. It's just not as refined.
Yeah.
Here's your medium shelf, and there's the top shelf.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is going to
exactly
be the most
that.
potent, most pure, best stuff.
Exactly. And for us, it's so simple because we're focused exclusively on oil products. And
Yeah.
we've been extractors forever. So the yields of each product and the cost to produce the inputs to each product make it very easy for us to do the pricing,
Okay.
to just create that bottom, middle, top naturally. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like by the time you get to pressing rosin out and you're making it critical, it's way more expensive than the process that was necessary to create a gram of distillate, right?
Okay.
So you're going to see that disparity in pricing there.
I don't feel like we're smoking enough. I feel like we're just
Yeah,
talking
we should
and we're not
smoke.
smoking enough.
Sorry.
Sorry, and I get into my equipment mode, and it's like
I'll
like
take
a
mine
vape?
home. I'll keep the conversation going, but I wanted to see some smoke coming out of you.
Oh, you were just yelling at us?
No, yeah, you guys.
I was also,
okay, sorry.
I was like, Mike, I'm really thirsty over here, and he was like, well, we only drink weed products here, so
Yeah.
as I hydrate myself here, I will be getting less and less coherent, which I hope is fine.
That's what I want this show to be. I want the end of it to be barely coherent. Because as you don't know yet, because you haven't been a guest yet, we end every show with a riddle, and the more baked everybody can be, the better it is.
I put
for
last
the
week's on my
riddle.
resume.
Yeah, he got it. He got it right away. Last week was
No
killing
way.
it. So, can you compare the highs between like the jaunty and the?
Oh yeah, that's
Resonator?
where we started with those two. Yeah, that's right. So with the resonators, like I was saying, with pure distillate gummies, some people like the feeling, and some people might feel a little bit of paranoia with it. With resonators, I've almost never, I can't think of right now a story I've heard of where somebody's really felt like uneasy
Yeah.
with resonators. I mean, his E-man was just saying like he was feeling great
That's
or
good to know.
crying from from emotion there. Like there's just no, like, I don't know, I've never had a hash gummy where it doesn't just kind of wrap me up. And
Yeah,
when we made this
they're real good.
product, we didn't even think that we could make hash gummies. We thought rosin gummies was like kind of the only thing. But we tried some products in Massachusetts, Hashables, shout out Hashables because they're the inspiration, that were hash gummies. And Christian and I tried them. We ate like 3 of them each. And we were high, like, as we say, like trip high. We were like real uncomfortably high.
Yeah.
And that's where we came up with just sort of like the marketing in general. Like we were all fine, everything's good. And then like 30 minutes in, we were like, whoa, we're super high. And
Yeah.
we're not upset about it or anything,
No,
but
not at
we are
all.
like almost visually high. So we have this, essentially it's like, a sort of vortex coming out, or like
Yeah.
you're in normal space, everything's sort of quiet, and then suddenly you feel the resonators.
I'm
Right?
so glad I'm learning this because I've done the Resonators gummies and I just didn't know that. I just read that it said solventless,
I
hat
think
and all that.
so many people don't
I don't even
it.
know that. Like,
I just try to be
eat
like,
it.
just try it and try the effect, because
Yep.
I've started
You'll
to
like
feel
it.
confident enough in the effect that,
Yeah.
that people
Oh,
feel
yeah.
that it's different. Yeah.
But now tonight, when I do it for science, when I do a couple for
You'll
science,
be conscious of it. Now.
I'll
Yeah.
know what's going to happen because I didn't know that till right now.
Yeah.
So then we go to the third. We go to the top shelf. We go to the highest quality stuff you put out, and that's the concentrates.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me about this brand because you guys are going to do a dab. It's the
Yeah.
first ever dab on Lunch Buds.
Yeah, we're gonna do a comparative dab.
We'll get
here,
E-Man
also
back
for
in here.
educational purpose. So Critical actually isn't our brand.
Okay.
We license Critical, and we were super resistant to licensing outside brands
Okay.
for over a year. But Alex Q came in and he set up our solventless program first for resonators.
Okay.
And he had such incredible genetics. Alex Q is like on the top 100 High Times most influential people. He's just a book of knowledge on extraction
Yeah.
of hydrocarbon or solventless, right? He's an incredible guy. And when we were gonna make dabs, we were like, let's really make sure that the quality is gonna be the top that it can be in the state. And I told Christian, who was kind of against it, because he wanted to do our own thing. The only way we're gonna do that is if Alex is fully invested in it.
Yeah.
And he's like in the fields, worried about the plants and worried about the seeds that we're buying and like what are the
Right.
genetics, testing them beforehand. And so we brought his brand on, and I'm Venezuelan, he's Cuban, so we also get along super well.
Awesome.
And so that's Critical, and Critical is going to be exclusively dabs for now. It's live rosin.
Okay.
We'll have some full melt hash and some fresh press coming out soon.
Okay.
Which fresh press is just straight off of the press.
Yeah.
It never gets warmed up after that.
Okay.
And then after that, hopefully some butane and hydrocarbon stuff at the end of this year. But
So when we get to like this stuff, is it the same high quality flower that you were getting for like
Yeah.
the resonators? I mean, I know you're not growing the flower or whatever, but it's a licensed brand. But it's gonna be like, it's not like the shake that we were talking about or like the
no,
the
right.
clippings.
Right.
It's gonna be
So
high quality flower.
It's the super high quality flower. And last like nerd thing to sort of break out
Yeah.
on rosin and the differences. When you have those filters that are catching those little trichomes, right, as the water is going through, they're catching them. There's 4 different levels, and they're different microns. They're different sizes, essentially, of trichome. And
Wait, hold that thought, Nick. He's holding it. He's
no, I think it's
Yeah, go on.
got it. There he is. There he is.
Oh,
All right, go ahead. Back to trichomes.
Oh, man.
yeah. So there's like the top level
Yeah,
and the
that's
bottom
good.
level. Those get the biggest trichomes, and the smallest, those are like darker, less quality stuff. So there's just basically 4 different sifts and
Okay.
levels, and critical is made from only the middle 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll separate out all the 70 micron to 120, and nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's try it.
It's good. That's really good.
Is this the champagne? Oh, that's awesome.
So what I want to get into, obviously, what you're smoking right now, but you wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. Again,
Yeah, that's
for
right.
science.
For science, let's try that.
We're doing this.
So live rosin.
E-man, jump in the
Oh,
corner.
yeah.
Yeah.
Live rosin, because it's fresh frozen material, it's live. There's also like live beer, for example. That's a thing.
Yeah, like live cultures. and
Live
like
cultures,
that, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's got to be kept in the fridge or it'll spoil. Basically, it'll
Okay.
go bad. So that's everybody that buys critical, keep it in the fridge when you buy it. And I accidentally left one outside of the fridge for like 2 or 3 weeks that I just found in my car on my way over here, and I was
Okay.
like, oh, this would be a great idea.
Find out.
So yeah, so
I like science now.
So you're trying to see if
I didn't before.
those cultures died off in there, probably, right?
yeah, or if they acidified essentially,
okay.
and it.
Yeah.
I mean, it still smells pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not gonna. be
Everybody
like the
watching,
same.
keep it in your fridge. Don't do what we're doing.
This is
Yeah,
the one that
it smells pretty much the same.
this is the one that was in the fridge. I think it might smell a little. Here, if you want to compare.
You can tell that one's a little fresher, but
A little fresher, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it still
yeah,
smells
yeah.
the same.
Yeah. So I guess it'll hold up a couple weeks.
Okay.
So let's try it.
And what are you hoping to notice? Like a different kind of buzz?
I
expect me to cough
would
more?
expect like from this one, not a different buzz. Just that, and when you blow out, you're gonna taste a little bit of acidity. You know?
Okay.
Like yeah.
Let's do it.
And if you guys have any
You can hold
questions,
that button down whenever you
this is
want.
the CEO right here. This is the guy who's going to answer them. So if you got any questions in chat, I can see your chat.
Like right there, or just grab it first and then hold it down. Yeah, no, I got it.
And it slides off. Nice. No, that first one was good.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Ink is asking in our Twitch chat, why is live rosin sometimes lower THC percentage than carts?
Oh, so the main reason, I mean, THC percentage isn't what's getting you super fucked, or excuse me.
You're fine.
You can say fuck shit, whatever you
super
want. Go
fucked
ahead,
up.
Lance.
It's not really the THC. It's that combination of terps. So I just want to get that out of the way before
Okay.
answering the question.
Yeah.
That rosin will still get you super high, but the reason that it doesn't have that high of concentration, and we're working on it, is because the post-processing, as you saw, like at where I think at Beacon Skiff or
Yeah,
wherever
sure,
you
yeah.
saw the distillate,
Yeah.
there's basically the only post-processing for rosin is just pressing. So there's still other plant material in there. Like when you say something's 90% distillate, it's because there's 10% material, other stuff in there. In this case, we're at 70 or THC, excuse me. We're at 70% THC. There's 30%, plant stock, plant wall cell. There's very small plant material that's still in there. And to refine that with hash, we're working on it right now. We might have it in like the next 3 or 4 months to get like a 90% hash. So we're
Okay.
working on that.
Cool.
But you have to use static electricity to separate it, or otherwise you'll spoil the terpenes. And it's like a crazy process of. I'd have to show you the tails and beginnings, but essentially you end up with this like white hash, and on the other side you end up with this little pile of green material, which is just a bunch of like stock, cell wall, and stuff that you're able to purify out. The simple answer
That's
is just
crazy.
because hash purification, hash solventless is also
Right.
new, that it's not developed yet.
And what
yeah.
I want everybody to hear this, because every time somebody is like, "Oh man, the dispensaries, I just get it from my buddy for $10." Your buddy's not doing this. You hear all this machinery and like science and
Yeah.
smart stuff that goes behind it. It's not your buddy's, basement shit that you're just smoking for $10. They're like, people are putting effort into this. It's going to cost money to do that. Yeah, and passion. And he's doing the work. All right, there we go.
I'm doing the work.
He's doing the work, guys.
Let him work.
Let him
Science.
work, please.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, I want everybody to get a good pull off this before I drop the riddle on you. And
boy.
again, this is
Oh, boy.
Nick from Naturae, Jaunty, Resonators, and Critical. Critical is here too? Can you get Critical?
Yeah, Critical's here.
Critical's here too. So get that stuff coming. The new product we are launching are these. The Jaunty, the infusions.
1 gram biodegradable, disposable,
Very, very
delicious.
cool. Very, very cool. And coming soon, can I show the camera these?
Yeah.
These aren't available yet, right?
No, in like a week actually.
So the live rosin vape
10 days.
from Resonator coming very soon to Flynnstoned as
One
well.
more in
So
there, I think.
that is very exciting. I'm going to save that for myself
God, that's
Yeah, so it's
what.
done.
Yeah, I'd like your reaction to that.
because of the live rosin.
Yeah.
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 The taste on that one, I actually could taste a little bit of the acidity. I don't know about you guys.
I forgot.
He forgot to do the side. He knew he was doing something, but he didn't remember what.
Some type of science. Doing something.
Science.
Yeah.
Do we have a little?
Work is hard.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm at work right now. I am at work.
Nice.
What flavor is that one?
This.
We all 3 days.
Dude, the strawberry smells great.
Oh yeah, we should open the melon. Everybody's
great.
open strawberry.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that one.
The melon's my favorite actually, so let's try that out.
Oh, it smells so good.
Strawberry.
And like you said when we were talking about the Jaunty ones in the beginning,
Some child perfume.
it's kind of like a whole different class of vapes. It's got the
Yeah, you're
flavors
strong,
for a
yeah.
reason. That demographic,
Yeah, it's got the flavors purposefully.
they want
you
that
know?
taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm of that demographic where I don't care for the taste of cannabis, but I do like.
Oh, you'll enjoy.
The strawberry smells like strawberries.
That was our inspiration for Snoozeberry before we had to change it. by
I
the
love
way.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's got a vibrate.
Let's see.
Blow some melon around.
Oh yeah, melon.
That strawberry.
That makes so much vapor.
Well, a lot of it was gonna
Nick.
go in me, but
That's like one of the
It's hard.
biggest
That is
clouds
really,
I've ever
really
seen
good.
come off of that.
that is really good.
Oh, the melon smells really good. Very nice. All right, boys, take one last big pull. I'm going to give you a riddle.
Okay.
Riddle time.
Oh boy.
Again, all available right here at Flintstone. These coming in about 10 days. Delivery. Anything you like here, go to the website, fill up your cart, get to checkout. You'll pick up or delivery.
Watch TV.
Watch
it arrives.
TV.
That's right. Sit on your couch.
It's raining and shitty out today. You don't want to go outside. They'd be
Oh, boy.
happy to deliver
Yeah,
to
it'd be
you.
way easier.
All right?
Wow.
Everybody settle in. Cody coming off a victory last week. He got it last week.
Settled. Settled.
0 for 2.
What 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it?
What?
What 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? You can play at home. They can't see the chat. You can drop it in
Absolutely
chat.
zero chance. I'm getting that. I search my mind and there's no way.
You went deep.
Shorter when you add 2
What
letters?
5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Go ahead.
3?
That,
Nope.
When you add 3 letters,
I had 3. Oh.
when you add 2 letters to it.
2. Because 5. No.
Where are we going here,
I
bud?
don't
What's
know.
it?
I have
it's the
nothing.
rosin that was out of the fridge.
It's that meme that's going around like numbers around his head.
Yeah.
All right, last chance. No guesses?
Nah, I don't
Listen
even know
carefully
if
to what I'm saying.
Mine doesn't count.
Listen carefully to what I'm saying. What 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? The answer.
It's something with the end of what he's saying.
It's got to be a word inside of this.
When you add 2 letters to it, what's it?
What's it?
Say it again.
What 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it?
It didn't help that you said it again. I thought I was going to catch something.
I'm watching him and E-Man work through it. I'm not going to end the show.
This is a great way to end the show, though, because everyone's stoned, and there's absolutely. You got last week's, you're
He
saying?
got last week's.
Oh, shit. Okay.
What 5-letter word? It's something with
Add
that.
2 letters to
When
it.
you add 2 letters to it. Does anybody out there know?
Dylan figured it out. I saw him
he does?
mouth it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dan's over there like, yo.
Like real fast, you got it?
Oh, fuck.
So is it? Are we close? Is it something what we're doing?
No.
Oh boy. Okay.
I thought you almost had it.
Right there.
What 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Short. The word short becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it.
Oh,
I
my
said
God.
word in the sentence. I don't know which word he was
Bye, everybody.
Son of a
Flintstone.com. Flintstone.com.
Good job, buddy.
Oh man, we were close.
All right.
We were close.
So close.
Yeah, I was nowhere near that.
No.
No. That was far.
Thank you,
I was
Nick.
getting way complex.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
This was
Thank you.
fantastic. We
That
will
was
see you
awesome.
back
Thanks,
again. I
man.
know we're going to
That
do
was
this a
awesome.
couple times.
Thank you.
man.
Thank you, everybody tuning in. Flintstone.com. Get your orders in. Delivery available. Delivery up until what? Closing time? Is there a cutoff time for delivery orders? Closing time. So up until they close, get those orders in Flintstone.com. Bye, guys.